Just to make sure we're ready here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, what an evening. And there's so much more to come. Our feature is wondrous. So, Milo Starr Johnson is our feature this evening. Highly recommended poet who is new to our community and very welcome to it indeed. She's a California based writer and multidisciplinary artist, a poet, playwright, performer, producer, and indie pop singer songwriter. As a co-producer, writer, and performer of the podcast version of Miss Experience White, she won a 2022 Signal Gold Award for fiction in a limited series and a 2022 Silver Award for a cause awareness in a miniseries. Other poems have been published in Insurgent Imagination #1 and Sparring Artists #2. As a playwright and performer, her self-produced solo theater productions received an LA Times Best Bet and an LA Weekly Pick of the Week. The Perambulator, her album of original retro 60s and 70s inspired pop songs, garnered praise from music reviewers and industry professionals. A seeker by nature, she specializes in creating provocative and personal work, advocating for change with love and mischief. She's a fifth-generation Californian with ancestors going way back to colonial America. So, Milo, we are ready for you. We appreciate you and honor you here. I'm going to mute the mic and turn it to you.
Thank you, Dan, and good evening. Tonight I'll be reading from my forthcoming book, Miss Experience White, an illustrated, surrealistic, political poem cycle about destroying the demon of white supremacy and dealing with privilege. I should warn you that some of the content is R-rated. The illustrations are by John Seabury, and I just tried to put a few in the chat and failed, so be it. I will start with the prologue. In 2016, the reptiles ate my cousins. But that was Florida. I thought I was safe here. Sweeping, clear a space, sweep in a circle outwards. Go. No. Truth is always in front. Love and courage on either side. Justice steers from behind, reason above, and the ground always changing, because I really do contain multitudes. So in part 1, Vision and Revelation, the narrator, Miss Experience White, summons the pearly white demon of white supremacy, Tyrannosaurus Wonderbread. In this next poem, she summons his pearly white retinue. Reptile Show. Lights fade up on the stage of mind. Apparitions begin to appear. Reptile-like bodies, clothed in the latest rage, sporting necklaces, tattoos of pride. Freely do they strut about, gnashing their teeth. Yet they are all in fact asleep. These are entities without substance, formless, pass-through entities. First to appear, a two-headed monster, the Great Consort. Larger head is Queen Chastity Wonderbread, alias Old Pussy. She wields cleaning supplies to remove dirt, sterilize filth. Her shield a fan of credit cards, breastplate by Fredericks of Hollywood. With one hip thrown out, this desperate housewife may be sexually available, medicated, or both. Her hair big blonde, her face pulled, puffed. Under mascara, she wears black eye husband gave her with martyr's flinty pride. Second smaller head, known only as Trophy Pussy, changes regularly. Many servants visible behind. Appearing next, Prince Tyrannosaurus Jr. Wonderbread, alias Vanilla Snake. Hunting rifle casually slung over one shoulder, he wields MBA degree like knife thrower, using locked briefcase as shield. He stands atop many dead, lions, tigers, little children, mom-pop businesses. The secret of mommy's bathtub game played out in one assault case after another. Dozens of secretaries and servants attend him. Here comes Princess Purity Wonderbread, alias Sweet Pussy. She wields bejeweled selfie stick dripping with the blood of friends. Long, straight blonde hair flows past sexy breastplate with pattern of broad stripes and bright stars. Although knees are together, lacy knee pads by La Perla suggest another stance her brother taught her. Giggles of contempt bubble away from doll face, a celebutante with many attendants. In contrast, the short younger daughter, Evangeline, alias Hot Pussy, wields pistols, rifle, and Bible, which also serves as shield. Bra holster by Victoria's Secret. Wears a rodeo outfit, appears to be in prayer. Although born again every day, at night she grinds on a porn site, tossing her rusty ringlets, showing off every position Daddy taught her, praying for the rapture to take her away. Her burly consort is also her brother. This youngest son, Diesel Wonderbread, alias Gator, wields impressive array of firearms, many concealed, brandishes false flag, wears red war cap, only shield a gun catalog, face like a hamburger, meat dripping juice, roars in aggression while in constant pain. No one would ever guess he was asleep, like all the rest in this dream. Also, in the retinue, 7 to 1,200,000 politicians, police, lawyers, guards, accountants, bankers, brokers, breakers, fixers, known collectively as the vicious cycle. They swirl about in attendance to the white ones, bending over backwards, doing cartwheels, backflips, wielding phones, lawsuits, advertisements, contracts with deadly loopholes and endless ammunition of fine print, building think tanks and websites staffed by trolls drooling to go viral. These suits are blind to everything but money, deaf to everything but the boss's commands, and are themselves attended to by legions of miserable helpers. The pearly white retinue is before me in all its reptilian glory. Okay, so part 2 is called Bonfire of the Ancestors. And I'm going to sing the first poem, then read a few pages from the second. Preliminary instructions. Take a bag of whitest ashes to the woods of family trees. Sprinkle round the edges, do it on your knees. Return again at night, a candle in your hand. Let the forest whimper stories of the land. Come back in the morning, swing your sharpest axe, cut down all the trees, pile them up in stacks, drag off all the stumps so the understory's clear. The space is now ready, your fire goes here. Bonfire of the Ancestors. Crumple up passenger lists, replicas from ships, 1600s to 1800s. Set ablaze with cigarette. I'm smoking in Dublin pub, answering questions. There were lots of Scotch-Irish from both sides, and my dad liked to say everyone hated them, so they left. Everyone agreed, and the barman poured me a whiskey. Add butter from British colonizers' sailing instructions. Sail south till the butter melts, then turn right. Tear up maps showing North America is uninhabited, although plenty of people live there. Burn. From mother's side, burn. Silk hood, replica. 10th great-grandmother, arrested 1653 for wearing. Breaking colonial law, people of lower class could not wear finery. Acquitted, although she had arrived indentured. Burn, indentured servitude contracts, replicas, standard agreement passage to New World plus 3 years labor, mostly between family members. From father's side, burn. Copies of oaths of allegiance, taken by German great-grandfathers, fifth and sixth, arriving prior to revolution. Men separated from families, made to swear loyalty to the crown of England. No record of translator, but colonists relieved Germans won't take over. Burn, Revolutionary War record, copy. Fifth great-grandfather, German, enlisted to fight British soon after taking that oath. Contemplate, then burn. Handful of corn, squash, and beans. North American plant protein combination called the Three Sisters, cultivated for centuries by native inhabitants, brought and taught to colonists for sustenance and symbol of interdependent living. For mother's side, print out image available online, contemplate, then burn. Will of sixth great-grandfather James Hall. To his son, he leaves most of his North Carolina estate, including my Negro man Joe and Negro girl Hannah. To his granddaughter, my Negro boy Peter, to be hers and her heirs forever. To daughter Jane, a Negro girl named Eunice, and a sorrel horse. Print out and burn, short bio, also online. James Hall, Scotch-Irish, was born in Ulster Province, Ireland, into a tenant sharecropper family on a plantation run by the British. He and widowed mother sailed for America, but she died on the way. Orphaned at 15, he found work, married, and became a prosperous farmer and Presbyterian minister. From father's side, print out, contemplate, burn, images of old census pages, ancestors from North Carolina, Tennessee, who did not own slaves. And that continues, and a whole lot of stuff gets burned for many pages. So next, I will read from part 3. Again, starting with the opening poem, and then going straight into the beginning of the main poem. Part 3, The Other Feast. Thanksgiving with the Whites. There once were some thankless brats who buzzed and whined like gnats. Daddy Demon shouts out, old snout in a pout. But I made them all scaredy cats. Oh, but gnats are almost extinct, the fire children sing with a wink. You made it too hot, you stupid big shot. Your religion and revenues stink. You insult the rich at your peril. You are godless, socialist, and feral. The rich will provide, but not to the snide. Go race round a rodeo barrel. Well, I would, but I injured my neck. Got addicted, then fell into debt. What Jesus would do would not be like you tearing down our entire safety net. So now you're some kind of Christian? You once said the Bible was fiction. Look at our money. God's on it, honey. Stop talking in self-contradiction. Ever heard of the Constitution? What began our whole evolution? We do separate our churches from state, hence the whole bloody revolution. What a load of liberal vanity. Conservatives value humanity. Ban abortion always. No marriage for gays. Bring America back to sanity. If sanity had much to do with it, you'd never sell guns to a lunatic. I see your brain shrinking. A reptile is winking. You'd probably say racism's over with. Well, I'm not a racist, but some people are running amok. They're trying to oppress us with political correctness. They'd better not push their damn luck. Or what? What the hell does that mean? How fragile is your self-esteem? Please try a vegetable. Change is inevitable. And don't mess with the voting machines. The Mexicans stole our jobs. Behold the invading mobs. What they're doing is heinous, crawling up on our anus. They're terrorists with kebabs. Infectious old Mr. Bigot. It's past time we closed your spigot. No place for you here or anywhere near. You're terminal. Can you dig it? The Other Feast. Fade in. Interior, a ballroom, night. A feast is underway, with hundreds seated, some dressed well, and some are casual. The table is elegantly set, clinks of plate and glass. The mirrors on the walls absorb reflections of the scene. The mood is solemn but not sad, relaxed but dignified. Cut to exterior. But is it? Blank void. Theater of mind. See fire. This is the edge of the ancestors' infinite bonfire. Here we are burning away shame, ignorance, weaknesses, guilt, pride. Core of enlightened emerge, swarm forth from the bonfire. See them as purified spirits, or angels of vengeance, or wrathful Buddhas, or mystical energy forms. Child actors in their roles charge at the demon Tyrannosaurus Wonderbread. Fierce fight. Cut back to feast and focus on the woman met while at a party of mutual friends. This other woman's black. They talk of prejudice that's past and present and to come. They seem to get along quite well, but when the talk is done, the white one bumps the black one's drink. She does it several times, then thinks the other now believes she's racist after all. She's clumsy, guilty, plain confused, but not the victim here. She feels so angry and ashamed. Apologies may fail. Cut to the vast blank area near fire. Luminous actors fight with the demon who vomits and growls. Wow, nowadays people are just too damn sensitive. Hell, my intentions were all good. Elsewhere, luminous children assemble and light into pearly retinue, rounding them up. They confiscate personal items, stripping the fine new clothes off their ghostly reptilian bodies. Camera zooms out. Hundreds of retinue lined up and shot dead. Cut back to feast and focus on the retail manager. Martina Gomez is her name, of Mexican descent. One day she tells a story when her father's car broke down, the children all extremely young, and traffic got backed up. Remembering the furious white faces creeping by, she saw the hatred in their eyes of stupid Mexicans. The white employee hears her words, can visualize the scene, admits to no one but herself that she might think the same. Cut to the Wonderbread family, shivering, naked, afraid. See old pussy, young trophy, sweet pussy, hot pussy, gator, vanilla snake, taken from cages in chains. They're judged as subhuman, assigned to backbreaking manual labor on modern plantations and inside filthy and dangerous factories. Naturally, they are exhausted, but judged plain old lazy. The cure or remedy, more work. Cut back to feast, a two-shot. The cafe owners from a Middle Eastern country they do not identify. The wife says once, out of the blue, to one staunch regular, "My husband is so famous in our country that we left. A poet, writer, filmmaker." She stops, her words trail off. The customer alone reflects, one day it might be me abandoning my country for a better life elsewhere. But after 9/11, this exact same customer comes in for lunch, then stops to think, could they be terrorists? Cut to see luminous actors assailing, attacking the demon, who sees retinue dumped into mass graves. People of their time, he says, can be so unkind, laughing and thrashing his big tail. Cut back to feast and focus on Emil Ben David, guest, a man with curly blackish hair who's dressed with some panache. Invites some friends to dinner once. They bring their little girl, who looks around his lovely home, declares, the Jews are rich. Emil becomes her godfather. His wife is Protestant. The hippest babysitters, both artistic, full of charm. They take the girl to foreign films, exotic restaurants, and all discuss philosophy, humanities, and arts. In college, she will study film, just like her godparents. Cut to the luminous child actors hacking at tail of the demon, finally hack it thoroughly off while demon, enraged, howls. Cut back to feast and see a youth assigned as Kurt at birth. All done with feeling different or wrong or weird or sick. Kurt wears a dress to school one day and stands at 6'2", announcing through the laughter, I am from a future where the hard divisions have dissolved and definitions blur.
3 minutes.
Good. Now, I don't want to give the end away, but I'm going to give a hint with this poem by Langston Hughes. My mom gave me this book, The Langston Hughes Reader, when I was very little because it has children's poetry in it. But I ended up reading a lot more. Poet to bigot. I have done so little for you, and you have done so little for me, that we have good reason never to agree. I, however, have such meager power, clutching at a moment, while you control an hour. But your hour is a stone. My moment is a flower. Poet to Bigot by Langston Hughes. Thank you.
Wow, very powerful, Milo.
Very beautiful
Powerful.
poetry.
Thank you. I
Let
am.
her hear. Let her hear.
Woo!
You too.
I really wanted to get that Langston Hughes poem in.